Okay, let's talk about something we all totally ignore until it goes horribly wrong. I'm talking about what's happening right now behind your walls and under your floors. There's this whole hidden world, a super complex network that literally keeps your life running. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on it. You're probably going to be pretty surprised by what we find.
So, what if I told you that right now your house is secretly under attack? I know it sounds super dramatic, right? But it's true. There are these unseen forces constantly waging a silent battle inside your walls. And if you're not ready for it, this conflict can lead to total chaos, a ton of damage, and yeah, some seriously painful bills.
All right, so let's get into your home's hidden network. A great way to think about it is like your house's own circulatory system. Seriously, it's this unseen network that's absolutely vital for keeping the place healthy, pumping in the good stuff, clean water, and getting rid of all the waste. We completely take it for granted until, the moment it just stops. And look, we're not just talking about a couple of pipes here. This is a crazy, intricate web of pipes, drains, vents, all of it working together totally silently to bring you clean water and take away the waste. It's designed to be invisible, to just work in the background, and it does a great job of that. Until something goes really, really wrong. So who are these invisible attackers, these silent saboteurs? Well, to really get a handle on the threats that basically every home faces, we're going to look at a real-world example from Portland, Tennessee. But trust me, the stuff they deal with there, it's a perfect snapshot of what can happen in your own home, no matter where you live. First up is something you might have heard of, hard water, the mineral menace. It all starts with something as simple as geology, like the limestone bedrock you find in places like Middle Tennessee. That rock leads to water with high levels of calcium and magnesium. And that stuff, it creates a relentless assault on your home. It builds up inside your pipes, like cholesterol in an artery, slowly choking the flow and just strangling the life out of your expensive appliances, like your water heater and dishwasher. Okay, next on our list is a seasonal attacker, the freeze-thaw cycle. We can call this one the silent cracker. Here's how it works. When it gets cold, the water in your pipes freezes. But when water turns to ice, it expands with an incredible amount of force. We're talking enough force to literally crack solid metal. And the scariest part, you won't even know it happened until things warm up. That's when that tiny invisible crack suddenly becomes a massive gushing leak. And yeah, those pipes in chilly spots like crawl spaces or outside walls, they're the prime targets. This next one is sneaky. It's the enemy from within, pipe corrosion. If you live in an older home, say built before the 70s, you might have these galvanized steel pipes. They used to be the go-to material, but turns out they have a huge fatal flaw. They rust from the inside out. It's like a ticking time bomb hidden in your walls. For decades, it just silently grows, contaminating your water with rust and making the pipe weaker and weaker until one day, boom, it fails completely. And last but not least, we've got the underground invaders. I'm talking about tree roots. They're constantly hunting for water, and your sewer line is like an oasis in the desert for them. They can squeeze into the tiniest, most microscopic opening, and once they're inside, oh man, they grow into these thick, dense masses that can completely block everything. So that beautiful, majestic old tree in your front yard, it could be planning a hostile takeover right under your feet.
Okay, so these attackers are invisible, right? But here's the thing. They don't stay silent forever. Your house will actually try to warn you. Long before a total disaster, it starts sending out these little clues, these warning signs. The key is, you gotta know how to listen to your walls.
So let me ask you, have you ever noticed any of this stuff? Like strange noises, weird smells, or that super annoying sudden drop in water pressure when you're in the shower? Maybe a gurgling toilet or a funky smell coming from a drain? Come on, be honest. These aren't just your house being quirky. No, they're symptoms, red flags. And there's a direct connection between these signs and those attackers we just talked about. It's like being a detective in your own home. See that low water pressure? That's a huge clue for either hard water buildup or corrosion inside the pipes. If your water's got that brownish, rusty tint, classic sign of those old galvanized pipes giving up the ghost. And that weird gurgling toilet? Well, that's literally the sound of an underground battle between your sewer line and probably, you guessed it, tree roots. So when you see these signs, when your house is screaming for help, what do you do? How do you defend the home front? Well, it turns out your best weapons are expertise and having a really clear strategic plan. And that really gets to the heart of it. A real defense is about getting it right, not just getting it done fast. Think about it. Anyone can rush in and slap a patch on a problem. But a proper diagnosis, that's what saves you money in the long run. It stops the problem from coming right back, and it makes sure you're fixing the actual disease, not just covering up a symptom. And a professional approach should always be built on transparency. It's pretty straightforward, really. First, you reach out. Then, and this part is absolutely critical, comes the diagnosis and your approval. They figure out the real problem and give you a clear upfront price. And here's the rule: no work ever starts without you giving the okay. Then they do the repair and test it to make sure it's actually solved for good. See? The whole process is designed to keep you in the driver's seat.
So when you're looking for help, these are the hallmarks of a real professional defense. And listen, these aren't just boring details on a checklist, they're safeguards for you. A state license, that means they actually know what they're doing. Insurance, that protects you if something goes wrong on your property. Sticking to building codes means the fix is safe and legit. And a warranty? Come on, that's the ultimate peace of mind. It's their promise that they stand behind their work.
But here's a thought. What if you didn't have to fight the battle at all? What if you could just avoid it? This is where we shift from being reactive, panicking during a crisis, to being proactive. And let me tell you, being proactive is always smarter, and it's always cheaper.
I mean, just look at the two approaches. On one side, you've got reactive repair. That's responding to a disaster. It's high stress, high cost, unexpected damage, and your whole life gets turned upside down. On the other side, proactive maintenance. That's about preventing failure in the first place. We're talking lower costs over time, total peace of mind, and a reliable system. It's not even a contest, right? It's a choice between chaos and control.
And the great news is, being proactive isn't some crazy complicated thing. Flushing your water heater once a year, that gets all that nasty sediment out and makes it last way longer. Insulating pipes before winter, that's a super simple, super powerful way to stop those freeze-thaw cycles in their tracks. And just getting a whole house inspection every few years, that can catch things like corrosion or a potential root blockage long before they become a nightmare. Seriously, these little things can save you a world of hurt.
So when you boil it all down, it really comes to this. Your home's plumbing is this incredibly complex system, and it's facing these constant, silent threats every single day. The number one best thing you can do? Just be aware. Awareness is your first and most powerful line of defense. Just understanding the challenges is what gives you the power to protect your home.
So I'll leave you with this question. What is your home trying to tell you? The next time you hear that weird gurgle or notice the water pressure feels a little off, don't just blow it off. Stop and listen. Ask yourself what's really going on. Because listening and being proactive, that's how you win this silent war.